Today we're drawing some piranhas. These are dried piranhas, red-bellied piranhas from the Amazon basin in South America. These were given to me. These weren't found in Somerset, you'll be unsurprised to learn. This dried piranha was given to me by a student about 20 years ago, I think from a father who travelled to South America many years earlier. So I'm drawing in pen, so using a Pilot G-Tech C4 pen, very fine pen, lovely pen to draw with. I'm drawing on Bristol board, which is a nice treated white card, heavyweight paper card. It's a lovely surface for drawing on. So establishing the outline of the piranha, so just the basic shapes, the structures, and then I'm dropping in hatching. All drawing with pen, so no pencil, just going for it really. This was last night in my shed, and it was getting progressively dark as the sun was dropping. Each of these drawings is about 20-25 minutes of drawing, and in that time the camera doesn't reset its light settings, so it just gets progressively darker. So then I had to restart the camera to do another drawing so that the light levels were more balanced. So if it gets progressively hard to see, as is the case, as I fit drawings around everything else, like all of us, trying to draw most days, trying to keep some creativity going in this isolation. So establishing the gills and the plates of the gills. Piranha is a very heavy fish, a very kind of heavy set, kind of chunky looking fish. You can see from these different studies that it's quite plated looking. It feels quite ancient in many ways, a bit like a fish from another time, like a coelacanth or something. It's got these very kind of plated sections. Of course, that's exacerbated by the fact that these are dried. So when I'm drawing the piranha, which has got a very distinctive set of kind of nasal structures in front of the eye, and that very blunt forehead and that slight hump in its back, I'm establishing all those bits and the different shapes of the plates, really looking carefully to see where the edge of the gills are, and you can see the gill plates and the teeth and the structures of the jaw, and then obviously paying close attention to the teeth. There are about 30 or so plus species of piranhas. I think there's only one that eats meat regularly. That's the red-bellied piranha, of film and kind of book stardom, much maligned for its apparent willingness to attack people, but actually attacks on people are incredibly rare, and in reality people eat thousands and thousands of piranhas. It's much more the other way round, as with so many things. And if people do get bitten by a piranha, it tends to be just on the toes or fingers, when people are swimming and splashing about. But again, very rare. But largely confined to the Amazon basin, and particularly just a series of the Amazon River, but a series of other rivers, but quite limited in its range. But 30 or so described species, and new species being described all the time. So it goes on. We still don't know all of the species of piranha in South America. There's lots of creatures out there that we have yet to describe, but we know or assume exist. So these studies of these dried piranhas, obviously I'm looking at the teeth. The teeth are very distinctive, cutting teeth, triangular, sharp teeth for removing chunks of flesh. You can see from these drawings how triangular they are. They're quite like great white shark teeth in many ways. Very, very triangular. They're actually tricuspid. They have little kind of steps on the left and right side of each of the triangles as well. But very, very sharp to hold. I was also given, this is a smaller dried piranha from a friend who travelled in the Amazon a few years ago, Sean, and they actually barbecued and ate piranhas by the river when they were travelling in the Brazilian rainforest. And he kept one and dried it, bless him, and put it back for me. So I'm drawing this one. This is this morning when I woke up. So this is about 6:30 this morning. Got up to do some sketching, finished these drawings. And it's slightly more diminutive. It's got littler teeth. It's a smaller fish than the other dried piranha, but you can see the same structures. So once you've drawn something a number of times, you can see the same things appearing again and again. You become more familiar with the shape of, in this case, the jaw and the gill plates, and the shape of the eye, which obviously is sunken because it's dried. I've also got a jaw from another piranha, which is much larger, obviously from a much larger fish. I think most piranhas are about this size. They're quite small, you know, maybe, I don't know, 6-8 inches long. But they do get up to close to 2 feet, you know, red-bellied piranhas. So, you know, quite a large fish, really. A distant relative of the tetra, similar to the pacu fish. Often mistaken for the pacu fish, actually. And of all the species of piranhas, they're omnivorous, or they eat plants. So they're largely not carnivorous in the way that the red-bellied piranha is famous for being. You know, although they've got similar teeth, they're all largely eating plants and insects and lots of other things. So here is the jaw that I have. This is the jaw of a larger red-bellied piranha, just focusing on the jaw and teeth structure. It's quite nice when you're doing a series of studies like this to draw from different angles, to draw different specimens if you have them. And here I'm just building up a sheet, capturing details and kind of recording as much as I can about the specimen, as if I were in the field, really. You know, what information would I need to bring back? You know, what do I need to capture from this specimen? The lovely thing about drawing from life, from a real thing, like, you know, these dried piranhas and this jaw, is that you can hold it in your hand, you can turn it over, you can look at it from different angles, and you have to look really carefully. So I'm looking for the shapes of the bone here, the bone structure in the jaw, so kind of where it's you know, kind of bulging, where there are, how the teeth join, and clarifying kind of all of those sharp edges and details on those teeth. Again, heavily built. Everything about the piranha is heavily built and chunky and muscular. It's got a very powerful bite. Then to finish, adding a little bit of a wash of colour. Nothing special, just using a bit of tea and coffee. Tea and coffee are great for adding a bit of tone to a drawing. I think it's nice to add maybe colour to one of the studies. I think if you add colour to all of the studies, it can be a bit much, it can be overwhelming. So just picking out colour on one of the drawings, it's nice to kind of juxtapose between a colour study and then just line studies on the same page. So using the tea and coffee just to add in a bit of tone. Obviously these are brown piranhas in that they're dried. Their normal colours, silvery black, reds and so on, have been lost, obviously, having been dried. But just capturing some of that with a bit of tone with the tea and coffee. Dropping in little dapply marks to pick out some of the kind of dapple quality to the surface, and then pinching the brush to kind of take back some of the colour if it gets a bit heavy. And then, you know, that's it. That's enough kind of levels of finish of the drawing. You don't need to take it too much further than that. Just leave it kind of as a working study. So hope you've enjoyed that. That's piranhas, a slightly exotic drawing today. But whatever you can lay your hands on in these strange isolated times, you know, keep drawing, keep creative, and hope you enjoyed that. Take care. Bye.